for journey forward, draw the sword, forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. Last time round, we fought the enemy on Jamaica, the pirates that is, with the help of the French, I might add, and we also fought a battle at the Bay of Bengal, as we can see right here, and we were able to land our army and lay siege to Calcutta. So we're laying siege to Calcutta, but then there's also an army over here, where the Sepoy army is about to lay siege to. And perhaps, if we have time, we should be able to do both of them. I thought these guys were going to be reinforced by garrison. Seemingly, they're not. Well, they are, but I didn't think it would, or I thought it would be more substantial. One advantage I do see they have is Bengal infantry has a range advantage on us. However, we have an accuracy advantage. We have 10 points more in accuracy. Also have artillery. Finlay MacGregor takes the colonial army, the Sepoy army, and is ready to seize our first bit of India, if you don't count the fact that we stole Ceylon just a moment ago. But besides that, it's time to get a hold of some of those Indian spices. Well then, gentlemen, here's the battlefield. As you can see, it's dominated by this massive hill full of impassable terrain going right through it. Now, unfortunately, they actually have part of their spawn section there. I don't think they're going to put the troops that far forward. Hopefully what will happen is the AI will deploy down more towards the town. I'll be able to get up onto the hill and then use my cannons to good effect of firing down. And then also these elephants are actually got hand mortars. So I'm hoping that once they realize they have to climb up the hill, as they'll have to come through here. I don't think they're gonna go this way around, perhaps cavalry might do. But they'll probably go around here, and then this area is where they'll pass. So we'll have most of the infantry ready to stop them. Hand mortar elephants up here. Cannons, hopefully somewhere here, ready to lay down fire. And it's all gonna work out wonderful. Of course, as with most things, first contact with the enemy and the plan goes to shit. Or that's not the quote, but something of the kind. Right, so that's the troops set off. Let's see what the enemy's doing. So it looks like they were a long way around, which I thought they weren't gonna move. They're sending 2 units. Melee units, that is. And then it looks like the rest of their army is actually rushing the hill. Wait, they're all actually rushing the hill. So we got a number of cavalry units actually now rushing the hill. I'm gonna see if I can get my cavalry, the lances through here, and hurry them along to kind of stop the enemy here. This is not great, because now he's on top of the hill with 2 units of cavalry before I'm even sort of close. My artillery is nowhere near close to take part in the fight. The hand mortar elephants are actually ready. Oh, they're about to attack. Not the greatest position to form squares. Right, Lancers, hurry. I don't want them to attack my elephants just yet. Oh crap, they're coming for my elephants. I don't know if the elephants can withstand this sort of attack. I'll order in, actually only 2 lancers will go that way. The others 2 will cut through the woods. So we've lost 1 elephant. What it looks like. I'm hoping that I can get the elephant, get rid of this one rather quickly. So I can get my elephants up here and lob mortars down upon them. Right, hopefully, maybe, the enemy will see fit to come down upon us there. Let's see how the square is holding along. The square held really well. I'm gonna send 1 lancer over to block them as they eventually start to pull away, and then chase them off. Oh crap, there they are. They're all on there. Right, finally these guys broke. But this is not great because everything's out of line. I'll allow the elephants to fire at will at this point. See if we can start shooting some hand mortar shots towards there. Lines down here have started firing. I've backed them up because, I mean, they're gonna have kind of come down pretty hard on us running with the melee units like that. Okay, that unit is not gonna come back. I'm gonna need you back in battle. Got back up with these 2. And then the artillery there. Can I just get you guys to start shooting, okay? You will shoot at that, and you will shoot there. They're going in one straight line right into this. Okay, they're having some difficulty organizing themselves. But I'm hoping here that we're about to... That unit is perfectly within reason for you to fire at. Come on, how long does it take you guys to organize? Okay, now. Whoa! Okay, that was a lot more powerful than I thought it was gonna be. And now I kinda understood why it took so long for them to organize like that. The cavalry needs to pull back. God damn the elephants. They're good, but it looks like you have to... You will have to pull back. They have the superior range, but yet they chose to come really close. I will order the elephants back, regroup them down here and see if I can't get a better angle. Meanwhile, the lancers reorganizing over here. That does not look like that's going to go too well for me. I'm probably more worried about this unit. So I'll do like that. However, the guns are ready to set up. While it's not an optimal placement to deploy them, I think I probably need to deploy one to throw canister at. God damn it, let's just see about getting rid of all of this. Come on, elephants. Oh, they're charging on hard down here. Look at that. Looks pretty spectacular. Second line needs to open fire because first line is about to break. The elephants are killing over there. Don't tell me I charged like a lance unit or something. Or a pike unit, I should say. Right, that unit was forward off. Now I'm gonna charge with everything I have to get rid of those. And we're actually doing pretty well here. However, here we had 3 regiments that broke. And there goes the 4th one. I want to fire in this one, then I'm gonna order the elephants into attack. In hindsight, what I should have done is probably not go ahead and try and contest the hill against an army almost entirely made up of melee units. But it looks like we've fought our way through here. All the infantry was here though, was sent off pretty rapidly. But over on this side it worked well. Alright, fight off these guys. Oh, there's not going to be a lot of sepoys left. The thing though is, both we've entered the Indian subcontinent at just the right time, because both the Mahathans and the Mughals have been fighting each other bloody for a very long time, and we have a pretty good opportunity to hope that they do not actually have that much to back up this army. Their forces are kind of spent. Oh, look at that. I was lucky to spot that. They've put the spikes down with... Oh, they've got another set of spikes here. Even more spikes. They've got spikes everywhere, basically stopping me from my lancers to pursue the enemy downhill. The thing though, it doesn't matter because it's a town battle, so they're screwed any way they look at it. We have 200 men, they have 100, but they are getting reinforced there. I want to get my sepoy units next to the elephants here. If they want to come through here, I can unleash a charge. Unfortunately, the terrain here is not working in favor of my elephants. Look, looks like they're gonna walk into better range for at least this group. Right, there they are with their hand mortars. Let's take a closer look what kind of damage these hand mortars are doing. So the grenades are exploding on impact. I mean, if you're able to get the right sort of angle, but as it seems, the elephants are very troublesome to sort of order them to get into the sort of right position to get that good attack in. Oh, this one rallied. The 21st. Hold fire. Let's put them on the other side here. Oh, don't go any further. There's a bunch of spikes down there. I'll reorganize this elephant to sit there and order them to fire at will. See about getting rid of their general. I mean, I would say at this point that... the 21st is running again. I would say at this point that was a good volley. I would say at this point that I have won. There is not enough enemies to force me off the hill at this point, but this hill was heavily contested with tons of kills on both sides. In hindsight though, because my lances was uphill and they placed their spikes, I couldn't really support them, and they were the lances were fighting up here. I couldn't really support the main sepoy force down here, and we can see what happened to them. It did not go well. Anyways, that's the first battle on the Indian mainland. And here's the result of the battle. I lost 3 of the sepoy militia regiments in the battle. In total, we deployed 3,450 men against 3,100. I lost 1,700, and I've got about 1,700 remaining, so half the force died. While the entire enemy force was taken out, of course, because they're defending a town. And hand mortars killed the most at 379, followed by one of the sepoys, one of the ones that remained, and then we have 2 lancers, and then the other hand mortar. The hand mortar can really kill, but it's about getting them into the right position, because they were very finicky. Because they were constantly like moving around and stuff, so... But if you can get them into the right prepared position, firing that thing off, you could kill, you could blunt down an entire advance with just one of those shots. That was devastating. Anyways, that's that. Am I gonna be... Yes, I'm gonna be able to replace them. There's lots of good men looking for employment in India, so there will be no shortage of troops. And we've got a port right away, which is sending goods back home. Weaver's Cottage. We've got a gemstone mine we need to repair. We've got a pleasure garden. We are small tea plantation. Spice right here. And then 2 undeveloped ports. And rice farming estate. The thing about it, which I notice now, is I don't know who is trading in the spice. Spice is normally one of the most expensive commodities. I don't know if there's someone just trading that much in spice that made the price drop that bad, but 18, even for pelts, sells better than spice, which I think is kind of insane. I don't know why spice is that low. Most of the spice should be coming for the East Indies, and 13 colonies is trading for 4,000, but 4,000 should not tank that economy. Comparatively, I'm trading close to 8,000 in slaves. And slaves still has a good price of 42. Tea is really good though. I wonder what's the alternative to spice, because I do have a spice plantation here. What could we make that into? If I could make it into tea, I can make it into sugar. What's the price of sugar? 34. That's sort of double. I also have a spice plantation here. That should also perhaps be then changed to sugar, because clearly no one wants spices. Why does no one want spice? I wonder. How much it's going to cost? It's going to cost me about 6,000 to replenish the army, and they'll be stuck here for quite a while. The thing is though, I've got my allies right over here, and the only little border is this one right here. And actually, I've got my allies right here, up here as well. So if the enemy would have to come, they would have to come down all this way. Let's go ahead and put the navy together, and as we do, we'll scout the coast here. Wait, have they've built the best road right along this coast. So they do have an army up here. We'll put the army together here with the captured ships. We should head out to raid their trade, or perhaps go to the Indies to sink the Mughal Empire's trade navy, which is out there. So that, anyways, that was the first battle, and we managed to secure this area. There's gonna be very little chance, I imagine, of us turning this into our own culture, or at least it's gonna take a very long while to change that. The cultural unrest is quite high, 11, so even if we would have done better in this battle, it was been quite unlikely for me to quickly march on from there. With that said, we're gonna fight the second battle, which is at Calcutta, and here we've got the membership army that's gonna go into battle against they have a lot of mortars, which is gonna be their undoing. They would have done a lot better if those were regiments of infantry. I wonder here, these are bowmen, I think. No, it's melee infantry, but it looks like they got a bow on the back. Wait, most of it is... all of it, actually, is just melee infantry. And then these 8-inch mortars. No wonder it's heavily favored for me. Anyways, Douglas Hume takes his army and continue our victorious march across India. The terrain is quite different up here in the Bengal region. As you can see, it's a lot flatter. I'm gonna advance on this side, going through the open fields on the side of the town, and then we're gonna strike them. And with that, let's go ahead and start. So the enemy actually starts behind the town, and they have fixed their mortars in position, which means that I can just bypass their mortars, and I don't even need to get fired. They will not be able to fire a single shot. It will take a while though for my army to get in position to strike them. So I'll guess you guys have to enjoy a little bit of marching before the battle commences. Alright, the battle is about to start. My men are coming into position. We've got a rabble deciding to make a pass at the line. The rabble taking heavy losses as they're moving up. And it looks like they do not actually dare to charge the line. Instead, they're moving back to the safety of the line. They're sort of the three armed populace units are kind of egging each other on, trying to get them to attack the line here. Oh, looks like they're actually going to attack. I'll be sending in a warband and Wallace warband to go ahead and slaughter that unit. Kind of sounds like they're getting slaughtered. It charged in on its own. The rest of them are hanging back. My artillery has actually been firing up the flank and did get a pretty good shot up the flank earlier in the battle. Let's order the two Scottish units back into position. Very few men lost among the Highland warriors, and we broke that one unit. As you can see, they've put spikes right across the front. Right now there's very little need for me to act hastily and attack them. What I do think though is I'm gonna move the Scottish Lancers and the Dragoons further up into the flank. Right, it looks like the armed populace might be trying another attack, or if they think they can somehow waste our ammo. This is an interesting line, a single, close to single line of troops. Oh, there's a risk here of, I think, 2 Dragoons actually died of friendly fire there. I also risk of this unit shooting the one on the... Yep, the one on the left. And probably a lot of those shots was soaked up by the woods anyways. Which wasn't that great. They're continuously just running back and forth in front of us. Cohesion is good. Excellent, excellent. Okay, they're coming at it again. But they're just there, but not close enough to actually attack. I'm gonna order the artillery to fire. Oh, he just fired. I think I'm gonna order him to fire further back. Actually, at this point, it might be best to hold fire. The risk of friendly fire is quite high. I feel like these three units that have been running back and forth across there, they're gonna break pretty darn quickly. And oh, they've been running back and forth here, and it's destroy their cohesion. Right, we're gonna break up the line, and now just the melee infantry will now advance across the field to take on the enemy. And we'll have the heavy cavalry riding up on that side. Lancers be ordered forward. The dragoons be ordered forward. Dragoons be ordered into an attack, together with some of the line here. Perhaps too much is actually sent on this. Alright, let's see, who do we have here? Highland Warriors, Highland Warriors, Highland Warriors. Oh wait, all the named units are on this side? It must be then. Anyways, they're completely cut down. My dragoons will be ordered back. We'll continue to walk for as long as we can before we ordered into the charge. I think we actually have one Gordon. Gordon's Highlander is over on the right side. Here comes the rest of them. Alright, time for the Lancers to fall into the back. And then for the heavy cavalry to hit these units in the back. And now it devolves into a melee, which will soon be broken up as the... Oh, you're riding into friendlies. Pull off that attack. And then Argyle, as someone more knowledgeable about the time period, the specific time period. Actually, what did he say? It's something about the Earl of Argyle actually being sort of on the other side, as it were. He sided with the others. Well, what's he called? The Dutch guy. Instead of siding with the Jacobites. That went, compared to the other battle, this went very smooth, and I expect minimal losses unless I missed some units running over the spikes or something. And there we go. We have ourselves a victory. And here's the result of that battle. We deployed 3,400 men against 2,200. We only lost 200 men, while the enemy lost 2,200. What I note though is we killed about 49 of our own, exactly. Highest kills goes to Scottish Lancers, followed by Edinburgh Horse Guard and the Earl of Argyll's pikemen, who actually didn't side with Bonnie Prince Charles. Although, yes, I think I said Bonnie Prince Charles, but Bonnie Prince Charles, I don't even know if he's born yet, because this is very early, 1707. I believe Bonnie Prince Charles and his Jacobite rebellion happens close to like 1745 or something like that. So I'm not entirely sure if he's even born. It's his father who's in command. And who's in command of the Bengal region? Well, that would be me. So another big swath of India is under my control. This area is it's got more spices. Spices that no one wants, apparently. I'm gonna go ahead and repair all the buildings. The army is probably... This army is not gonna get stuck as for the same time as the one down south. The lucky thing though is this one's safe, because the only area for the enemy to attack is to march down all this way, and I'll know way in advance if they start to march there, and I don't think they would be marching down there, because the troops from Bengal can march out and then cut them off, and then they're stuck in between the sea and the mountains with nowhere to go. Hostiles all around, so I don't think they'll be advancing. I'll take some time to try and figure out and organize the area. I wonder if... Because I feel like spice is normally so... It's an important trade commodity, and it's kind of weird that it's not. Because it is actually, you know, it is a commodity that you don't have it on that many places, besides like the East India trade routes, and then a few farms here and there, mostly in India. So I wonder if I should all tear them down and start building new infrastructure just for the price to turn around, because of some mechanic that I'm unaware of. One thing that we are gonna need is to build up the road networks in India, because we'll march pretty far and wide across this great subcontinent, and that's gonna take a long time. One thing that I do know though is that there's a lot, even though spice might not be a super good resource, there's a lot of other ones that we have claimed, and for the fact that we just claimed the Bengal region, which has 21 million people in that region, and down here we've got 1.6, and on the island 0.4. So we have taken control of close to 23 million Indians, compared to the home region of Scotland, which is barely a million, 2.8 on Ireland. I guess this is before the famine. And then 6.2 in England. But less than a million Scotsmen, and we hold 23 million Indians so far. We're looking to expand this quite a bit as we go through. But I seem to have been able to have attacked right at the right time, just as the Mughal Empire and the Marathan Confederacy struck a peace deal, as both their armies were fought to a standstill. Perfect opportunity for me to come in and seize territory rather quickly. But now I've been going over the same thing over and over and over again. It's time to end the episode. As I said, we will be doing some reconstruction of the area to extract as much resources as possible, and perhaps then march on there. But we'll see what happens in the next episode. I think one thing though, actually before I say what I always say, is while I actually waited to attack until the French landed, once we actually got into battle there, now I lost a lot of men, but I think I could probably improve the way that we handle that, and claiming the rest of the pirate islands isn't gonna be that hard. I also checked specifically now. France does not need Jamaica. However, they actually need this region right here and the Bengal region. So we're causing more problem with the French for taking these two regions than we did for taking Jamaica right under their nose. But with that said, I'll be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.